Hi, this is Kevin Trainer, and welcome to my tutorial for the forms coding assignment, and as part of the Easy University tutorial project. And this is going to be a four-part tutorial. There are four sections to the assignment. The first part, which we're going to do now, it's actually called part zero because it's, well, it's just a minor refactoring to make up for a mistake that we made in the code a long time ago. Okay, so here, let's take a look at the code, and I'll point out the problem. So the problem is in the view code, okay? And if we look at views.py, we've really got two kinds of views. We have the list of views, instructor list, section list, etc. And the code in them is just fine, okay? When we go to render the response, we call the render method. Okay, we pass it the request, and we pass it the name of the template file, and we pass it a dictionary which has the context constructed inside of it, and that's great. So that's what essentially all of the list views look like. Unfortunately, when we created the detail views, for some reason, we have some old code hanging around that I really can't explain why it's still here. It uses, instead of render, it uses the older render to response, which has been deprecated for some time. And the difference between these two is really the following. To turn a render to response into a render, well, first of all, you have to change the name. And then you have to pass it the request explicitly. And you're done. It's that easy. So how does that help us? Well, it helps us in a couple of ways. One is that we're no longer using a method that's been deprecated. Okay, that's a good thing. Two, it has been considered for some time a preferable approach because when we pass the request to the rendering explicitly, that means that in the template code, if we want to pull content out of the request and plunk it onto the page, it is there for the pulling and the plunking. Okay, so that's why render to response has fallen into disfavor, and render has come to replace it. So we just need to change this in all of the detail views. We can really do this by copying the first two lines of the call, our new version of the call, and just going to every detail view and finding the return render to response and pasting that over top of it. It's really that easy. Okay? Not a very hard thing to do at all. So let's see, I've got course. Now I've got to do it for semester. And now I'm going to do it for student detail. And now I'm going to do it for registration detail. And that should take care of it. Okay. So, I just, whenever we change the code, we need to rerun our tests. And of course, our tests in this course are being done by inspection, so we need to crank up the server and make sure that we're able to get to all of the detail pages. So that came up on another monitor. Let's bring it down into the one that we're showing. Very good. Okay. So, okay, so if we go to instructors, let's go to my detail page. Yeah, that worked. Sections. Let's go to Infos 340 in the fall of 2018. That worked. Courses. Let's go to Infos 340. 2 sections of that. Semesters. Let's go to fall 2018. Yep. We've got 3 sections in that. Students. Let's go to Prima Stagliano. Yeah, there she is. That's fine. And registrations, let's pick Prima Stagliano and Infos 340-201. There she is. Everything's fine. So we refactored the code. We've recovered from a sort of an accidental problem that we introduced into the code several assignments ago. And now we've tested the refactored code and we're ready to go. So I'm going to see you in the next of the parts, which is called part 1. See you then.